lovely to see you both.
And
Are you,
too.
you both keeping well?
Yeah, very busy. I've just moved house, so I'm like doing a transformation, a makeover. So that is why, everyone, I look so terrible. I'm so hot. I've been using a wallpaper steamer, and it literally, I'm steaming as I'm using it.
You've been enjoying reading your autobiography. It's all in black and white.
Really?
Yeah, it's so good.
An early birthday present for me, and I picked it up and I thought I'd read a couple of chapters. 220 pages in, the boys were waiting for dinner.
You're making fun.
I'm gonna have to leave and cook them dinner. Honestly, it's fantastic. What was it like to relive all those memories and try to pick the best ones?
I actually think, as far as reliving memories, we had to jog our memories, because like in the book there's like all these like really lovely pictures that no one's really ever seen, and it started off with us looking at our childhood, and that helped to jog a few memories as to our childhood and how Shirley and I, the comparisons between the two are different but very similar, all the same. So that's where we actually began, like about our childhood. And then we sort of started to step into like our dreams and our desires, and Shirley meeting the boys and me sort of meeting Shirley and all that kind of good stuff. So it was like stepping stones. It was just like from chapter 1 right till the end, we literally took a piece at a time, and our memories were jogged by the pictures. Yeah. You
certainly lived the dream that we all wished for, because you were girls next door that were catapulted really global, and that was something that we thought, I wish we could do that.
Exactly. And I think that was the appeal of Wham. Everyone felt like they could have done what we were doing, and that connection, I think that was the true kind of success of it. It was like, I want to be that girl and I want to be those boys, and I can dance like them. There wasn't anything you couldn't relate to.
And also, you came across as really good friends. Was it amazing to actually perform on stage with your best friends, which effectively you all were, weren't you?
Absolutely. I mean, it wasn't really like work. And I think that's why when you're hanging out with your best friends, just having fun and doing dancing and playing all these shows, you didn't realize how big Wham was. Because you're in a bit of a bubble. It's only as I got older that I realized that people knew about us, because you just kind of stick in your own, I can't even explain it, but I think that's what a lot of people say when they're in their own success. You don't realize the impact that band had on people, and how many people you meet years later who say, oh, sorry, dogs are about to have a fight. Come here. All right.
But the thing is, I have to add to that, because Shirley and I always knew that we were fortunate. There were moments where we were like backstage, while George was singing Careless Whisper, like in the early days, and we were nudging each other thinking, oh my gosh, those girls would love to change places with us. How fortunate are we? So we were never kind of unaware as to, the fact that we were so fortunate to be in the position that we were.
Yeah, and I bet you had pinch me moments.
Yeah, exactly. So we did have moments where it was like, wow, look at that girl. She's screaming her heart out. She would love to be right where we are now. So we're always aware of that.
Oh, that's lovely to hear. Oh, so your first TV breakthrough for Wham was on Saturday Superstore, wasn't it, Shirley?
Yeah, so it was, Pepsi wasn't in the band then, that was DC Lee.
Yeah.
But I remember when we got asked to do Saturday Superstore, I couldn't believe it, because I loved Saturday morning TV growing up. I kind of lived for that, really.
Yeah. Yes, it was a must.
We didn't go anywhere until the Saturday morning TV was all over. And then, that was, I just remember, I could still remember the shiny floors, the cameras. I can actually transport myself back to the dress I was wearing.
Well, what were you wearing?
Everything. I was wearing, I've still got it actually, a Melissa Kaplan dress. I paid £60 for it, and that was a lot of money for me then. Because obviously we're not rich, we're just kids that have had this opportunity to go on a TV show.
I remember the dress because before I joined the band, there was gorgeous DC Lee.
Yeah.
And, I remember watching watching Top of the Pops religiously and seeing like Wham for the first time. It's like I was sort of taking notice of them, you know, my head was sort of like this, listening to the tune. And I was aware of Shirley. I was like, I love that dress. And it had like this sort of like hem that was very sexy, and it sort of went like that. And every time she made it, I love that
This
dress.
in the middle.
I actually remembered the dress. And it was actually Shirley I remembered more than any of the
Thank you,
boys.
Pepsi.
Yeah. No, I do. No, it's true.
My husband says the same thing.
Yeah. You were the standout sort of feature of the band, really, because what you were wearing.
I can put that in writing.
That was huge. When I had to meet Shirley for the first time, it was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to meet the blonde bombshell, the Marilyn Monroe of our time. You know, what am I going to do with that? I can't compete, so I'm just going to turn up as my tomboy self. And she was turned up as her tomboy self as well, so it was perfect.
You hit it off, and
you're like, how we look today.
You
had my hair so dried yesterday, have you noticed?
Very nice. Very nice.
Well, today Martin was hosing the car and he hosed me. He just flattered me. I was like so furious. I wanted to pick the hose up and hose him back. So yes, I've been hosed as well today with cold water.
See, this is the life, you see. This is the reality.
The glamour.
So looking back, you were the first pop group to perform in China, weren't you, back in the day? The first Western pop group. Was that quite a culture shock? Because I found an old smash hits, and it says, you know, it covers the whole tour.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh wow. Where did you find that?
Yeah.
I found it on eBay, actually, because I was looking for a present for someone, and I thought, oh wow, there's an original there, and it's got the whole tour of China. And it does say about the shock that you had. Obviously, it was a different culture, wasn't it? And people had to just sit down and behave themselves.
It was like going back 50, 60 years in time.
Wow.
And it gave me so much gratitude for the freedom and the colour and the freedom that we have. So it was a trip that really altered my consciousness about where I live and how lucky it gave me a lot of gratitude, which I'd never experienced, you know, before. Growing up, I thought we were poor, you know, I was like, oh, I come from a poor family, we haven't got any money. And then when I went to China, I was like, wow, what an incredible upbringing I've had compared to these people.
I must say, I remember us feeling, you know, Shirley and I really stuck together. We were like Siamese twins, you know, because I actually remember feeling quite numb. It was like, it numbed me. It was like, I wasn't really, I didn't feel an emotion of any kind. I was just sort of observing and feeling really numb of what I was kind of seeing, which was, there was no kind of standout characterized moments. It was just everyone was walking around very sort of like soldiers, you know. Everything was very, you know, you had to be really kind of careful where you went, and you were ushered here and you were ushered there, and it was very numbing. I just felt very numb.
Controlled environment, I suppose. Something you weren't used to at all.
Yeah.
And Shirley, in the interview with the reporter, you actually said, I feel quite bad actually performing here because, you know, the people are so, they're not allowed to have that freedom that we have. And there was a sense that you felt really bad for them, you know, on their
I'm very sensitive, and I'm very like sensitive to atmosphere and stuff. And I just it was a very weird situation. I mean, not long after that Tiananmen Square, you know, riot started.
Oh god.
So it's a tough one, definitely a tough one.
So not long after your China tour was Live Aid, and we're all surprised when you didn't perform there. Was there a reason for that?
I actually think, I mean, I actually wasn't actually in the UK when that was on, but I remember watching. I was actually in Portugal on a little road trip with a friend, and it was just like, Live Aid. It was all very, the little I saw, and what I understand is that these things used to come about, but you never really knew how big they were going to be. You knew that the purpose of it and everything, but
Yeah, it's all a bit
you look
hindsight,
at
isn't
it
it?
and you think, oh, that was actually quite important. That's how I kind of saw it. Yeah,
that's it.
I don't think anyone who turned up at Live Aid knew the impact that was going to have.
So were you there? Were you two there?
No, wish we were. No,
I wish
I was there.
Oh.
I went because
Oh, did you go?
Spandau were playing.
Yeah.
So I went to the show. It was amazing. Yeah.
And George was there, wasn't he, as well?
Yeah. And I remember Freddie Mercury out of everyone. It was Freddie Mercury. I remember also thinking, wow, that's the first time I'd really appreciated him, because I don't think I'd ever seen Queen before. So I didn't. Yeah, he was amazing live.
Oh, it was an amazing set.
Might not have been at Live Aid, but Wham! The final was as big for Wham! Fans. You've said in your book that it was a celebration for you of all your time with Wham! And an exciting time for you because you were going off onto your individual projects. Is there a standout memory for you from that concert?
For me, I think it felt like England. Obviously, when you've toured, you've gone around the world, you've done loads of stadiums, but this was England and it was sunny, and these were it felt like they are our people and they were on our side. It was definitely a concert like no other show we'd ever done. It was as if everyone was really relishing that this was the last time. So I just remember the screams and just looking out, and it was my best memory of ever performing and playing anywhere.
I actually think it was the best ever show that stuck in my memory. But recently I actually saw some footage of the beginning of the show where Shirley and I were wearing these rubber dresses. And, we came on with Andrew and we were like bringing him on, we were presenting Andrew to the audience, and it was the first time I'd actually seen that. And those rubber dresses, I don't know where my rubber dress went. I mean, I don't know where my rubber dress
I don't have mine, no.
You've got
I bet they were hot.
It's a really sunny day and we're wearing these rubber dresses. And we
loads
used
of
to have
talcum powder.
all the talc put on us so that we can actually get into these rubber dresses.
Yeah.
But the beauty of the rubber dresses was that they kind of held you up, and you had to sort of walk in a way that, the dress was kind of holding you together, and it was one of the best outfits because you would just.
I bet put a bodycon dress. Bodycon.
And it was like a really sort of sexy moment. And also there was the moment where George and Andrew didn't know this, but we had like these really big beehive wigs. And then we came on stage and I remember George just laughing his head off and Andrew just looking at us absolutely stunned because they didn't know anything about it. So we were having a lot of fun on stage as well as everybody else.
Pepsi looked like Amy Winehouse. If you look back at it with the big bow and the hair up this high.
Oh yes, because that was big in the 80s, actually, the beehive, because Mary
Wilson.
Yeah. Beehive, didn't she? Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, you were fashion icons, from the Wham days and also into Pepsi and Shirley, because you had your own Topshop line, didn't you, with the puffball skirts? And of course, we used to get the T-shirts, the Choose Life T-shirts. We all had to get one of those.
Back in the Wham days,
Yeah, back in the Wham
those T-shirts, they came from, I think it was Catherine Hamnett.
Yes.
Because she had those T-shirts, Choose Life, didn't she?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Was fashion something that you were interested in maybe doing a little bit more of after Pepsi and Shirley, or was that
I wished that's my one regret, to be honest with you, that I didn't keep that up, because the great thing about the 80s, obviously there was so much fashion and music that correspond, connected with each other, and you could tell what music you like by how you were dressed, whereas nowadays everyone's just in the same clothes, and you like all music. But it was exciting.
It was.
I loved the fashion, and going clubbing on a Friday night, every week I'd need a new outfit to go clubbing in.
About buying real sort of high-end designer clothes. It was about maybe just having a few pieces and then you know, going down to Camden High Street or Kensington Market and trying to put together something that was unique to you. So that's what I loved about the 80s. It was about being as unique as you possibly could and creating your own trend. So, you know, us with the puffball, you know, having Suzanne Rose, who was our stylist at the time, you know, she was like brilliant in like taking our ideas and bringing it to life. Like Shirley, I wish we'd kind of remained a little bit more creative in that area. But
well, it's not too late, ladies. It's not too late.
Sometimes you got to wait for an offer you can't refuse.
But, that's right.
You know,
exactly.
You made it big with Wham, obviously, but then to do it all again with Pepsi and Shirley. Can you remember where you were when you made it to #2 in the charts? Because that must have been a really big moment with Heartache.
I think you waited those days. You listened to the charts on the radio. And that's when you really know it's happened, when it says and at #2. So I must have been at home with Martin, I think.
I remember being at home and then thinking, oh, typical George, Aretha at #1. You know what I mean? It was like, you know what? I'm not going to believe it. We're #1. And I remember talking to George and like, yeah, you're #1, Peps. Do you know what I mean? And then he took us out to dinner and it was like really just a celebration of, you know, us being right at the top of the charts. It's a beautiful moment. It really is.
Yeah. And we were saying that Heartache's got that really catchy intro that quite a few of the Wham songs had, like Club Tropicana and Last Christmas. It draws you in with that intro. Right back to that summer of 83 and 84 and beyond.
And then we also thought you've actually got the accolade for being the band with a pivotal Christmas and summer song, and we can't think of any other band that's got that.
No.
Wow. You've been thinking deep. We never think. You've been thinking deep. I mean, for me, the thing about Heartache that really lifted my heart on the outset was like, I remember walking down, I think it was in the West End somewhere, and I remember hearing this guy on some sort of like some building site, and he shouted down to me, ha 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 ha, yeah. And I remember him doing that and thinking, wow. And I remember waving, thinking, just giving him a thumbs up. And that's such a hooky part of the song, you know. And like for instance, when we used to do our live PAs, we could actually hold the microphone to the audience and hear them just singing that part. And to me, that's
so catchy.
Fantastic, catchy bit of the song, I think, the ha-ha bits.
Yeah, definitely.
And going back to Last Christmas and Club Tropicana, the videos were just fantastic. We all wanted to be in them. Is there one special memory from either of those that stands out for you?
Club Tropicana video was great. I mean, we got a free holiday to Ibiza, stayed at Pike's Hotel, but it was also a lot more fun filming Last Christmas because there were a lot more of our friends that were in that video, and everyone was just doing everything different to what the director said. So how he managed to cut that film together and make it look fun, but we were throwing snowballs at each other. I mean, it was chaos.
So much fun that comes across.
It was, and what you see is what it was.
It was chaotic. We had to be calmed down most of the time by the director. Look, just stop having too much fun. Calm down. We got to get this scene. You know what I mean? We were being very silly, very, very silly. It was a lot of fun.
That's what makes it so good, though, isn't it? Talking of memories, going on to more of a sad thing, obviously with the passing of George, which came as a huge shock to everyone. When you hear George's songs now, does it still really leave you feeling bereft and sort of sad, or can you think about the good times when you hear them with George?
For me, you get different emotions when someone's passed away. Some days you're good, some days you're not. So it really depends on what mood I'm in. But it's always a lovely reminder, to hear his voice always puts a smile on my face anyway. but it really depends. But you know, I hope his music is played forever, because that's what he loved.
It definitely will be. I think his legacy is going to live on and on, isn't it? Because
and the thing is,
exactly.
living in the Caribbean, you know, it's not just loads of calypso music and soca and carnival and all the rest of it. In St. Lucia, St. Lucians love lyrics. You know what I mean? They love a lyric. You know, they're very much into country and western and the torch song and you know, the woman that's been beaten up by the man because he's drinking too much and all this. You know, they really get into the whole lyric of a song. And in St. Lucia, when a song comes on, it's incredible what happens. People actually stop in their tracks and listen to the lyrics and start singing. So I have had moments where I'm in the supermarket, would you believe, in St. Lucia. And for example, it's Christmas, not as you know it, like snow and Christmas
nice
tree,
and warm,
but still sunshine. And, you know, they have all the baubles out and everything. And Last Christmas comes on and everybody starts to sing.
Oh, that was incredible.
You've got to video that, Peps.
I've got to stand in a supermarket one day. They think I'm bloody weird and walk around and wait for that man. And do you know what? I'm going to do that. And the thing is, what happens is everyone starts singing, and then everyone starts looking at each other, and it's like it's Christmas. You know what I mean? And I've had that moment, and to me, that's the most beautiful legacy that Wham has left behind. With George's voice, and even there's a DJ that comes on the radio in the mornings, which is hysterical, and he's very suggestive. Like, he loves talking to the ladies, and the ladies call up and everything. And when he thinks he's got a chance with a lady caller, he starts to play Careless Whisper, and it's all in the background. And I hear this and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, if George ever knew this, and maybe he does, you know what I mean? So this is the joy of music. It really lifts my heart. But with grief, it kind of, like Shirley says, it's like a wave. 1 minute you feel it, 1 minute you don't, 1 minute you feel the joy. Sadness. But as time goes by, it becomes more joyful.
Definitely. Well, that's we were saying. I mean, as Choose 80s, we celebrate everything to do with the decade. It's for the positivity, feel good, party feeling, and that's exactly what Wham epitomised for us. Which Wham song would you say sums up the spirit, perhaps, of the 80s for you?
Oh wow.
It's a tough one, isn't it?
I could think about so many moments that uplifted me. You know, doing Young Guns on stage. For me, that was just like, Young Guns, go for it. I mean, I can just see it, you know what I mean? And the thing is, you know, with the audience, they're kind of with us as well. And then there's like Everything She Wants, when we're just all very slick. And like, when I used to hear the drum, hearing that just really lifts my heart as well. And there was one song, which wasn't a Wham song, but used to be done on tour, was If You Were There, you know. It was like an Isley Brothers song, which I was really uplifting, and it was just really. And then there was an Average White Band song, I remember, that used to.
What was their famous one? They had a few.
SOS, is it?
Little white boy.
Oh yeah.
Funky music.
Yeah. It was
play that funky music.
Play the funky music. Now these weren't on the albums, I don't think. But on tour, those were the tracks that, I don't know. When I think of Wham, I think of like the tour songs as well.
Yeah, because they were so exuberant, those songs.
How about you, Shirley? Have you got one?
No, definitely not. Not one song, because they're all fun, and they're all so much kind of story to each one. I mean, that's why, because the songs, all the lyrics were tongue in cheek, or so. Yeah, each one's got a kind of special place for me. So I definitely don't have a favourite one.
You teased in your book, in the book, that you're working on new music?
We were writing some songs, but then COVID kind of made it so much harder as well.
Oh,
like
it's been really difficult.
Hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
We never
because
say never.
We'll never say never, but yeah, we kind of done, we were writing some cute songs, so that still could happen. But
yes, fingers crossed. I look forward to that.
The thing is, we work really well. We're in the same room.
Yeah.
So for us, we're kind of old school writers. Let's get together and write. So me here, Shirley there. It kind of it's a little bit more technical, where we like to be in the flow of things. So I need to get my head around the technical. Shirley needs to get around the head of and hopefully we'll put it together. Or someone else will come in and say, "Let me do all the technical." Yeah. That would be good. We've always got ideas. Let's just make it happen, even if we just put it out there ourselves and share.
Oh, definitely.
So lovely to talk to you both, honestly. Thank you.
Lovely to speak to you guys. Thank you so much.
So best of luck with the book. It's brilliant.
Thank you so much.
Give you a big hug.
All right.
Lots of love to you.